Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Crimson Court campaign. Now, the thing is, before we dive in to the session, we have to travel elsewhere in Illica first. The wind, it howls through the jagged peaks of the reaches. Cold and biting, it carries this distant call of unseen creatures as Rainier Falkrest leads his company of 10 Adarian watch further into the depths of the veiled ravine. The soldiers march in a tight formation, their breath rising in short clouds, their eyes scanning the shadows of the looming cliffs. The only sounds, besides their boots, are the occasional shift of armor and the whisper of leaves rustling in the windless night. Then they all see it, burrowed into the mountainside, as if something had gorged open the rock itself, this ancient keep, its structure half swallowed by stone. As if built atop the remains of something even older, the entrance is unnaturally smooth, a yawning black arch that looks less like a gate and more like a wound in the mountainside. Rainier halts the company, his fingers tightening around his warhammer. The soldiers pause behind him, shifting uneasily, their instincts screaming what none of them will say out loud. Something isn't right.
We'll make camp here.
Rainier's voice cuts through the silence.
We'll take some patrols. We'll look for any signs of movement. If we don't see anything, we head in. Prepare your gear.
The mist rolls in even thicker, pressing close like a living thing. Somewhere in the distance, something shifts. Not the wind, not an animal, but something else. Watching, waiting. And with that, as that scene begins to fade to black, we will cut back to our heirs. As all of you see those bandits, they catch you. They see you standing there, and they begin to chase after you. Okay.
Still run.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move everybody. So how this is gonna work, since you are in a chase right now, is it's gonna go you guys, the bandits. And if you do anything to try and slow them down, you can only move 30 feet. However, if you are going to just run, you can move 60 feet. So you guys are up first on your run away. It's up to you guys. Do you want everybody to move forward 60 feet just to try and get there as quick as possible? Or is anybody doing anything to try and stop the bandits?
Kaylin is going to Eldritch Blast a nearby, low-hanging branch to try to, trip up some of them.
Merrick is going to do his own thing to help Kaylin out, seeing what she did. Merrick's going to reach into one of his pouch, and he's going to pull out a different bullet than he usually fires, and he'll load it in. And he is going to take a shot at the leader guy, whoever's leading it. That bullet, as it pierces into him, there's this bright orange glow, and then there is this eruption as it just bursts into all these shrapnel as he casts Hail of Thorns.
This bottom bandit is going to take a shot that is also going to hit, and yeah, that's bad. That is going to be 8 points of damage. You can see this bandit, or this Adarian watch, you can see two bolts. One slams into the shoulder, and then one slams into the bottom of the gut. As you can see, he just kind of falls over, grunting in pain as he is knocked down. I'm not going to say he's dead yet. He can still be recovered and sort of dragged, but if he is not dragged, he will bleed out. That is it for the bandits.
What do we think? We already lost a guy. That's not great.
Well, if you guys are going to decide to fight, then as you sort of stop and stand your ground, I would like all of you to roll initiative. All right, Edwin, it's your turn.
This guy's not dead, right? It says dead, but he's bleeding out.
Yeah, he's bleeding out right now.
Okay. Edwin's going to run over this guy. He's going to slide down, kneel down, open his pouch, and get the bandage and start patching this guy up, and says, "You're not dying on my watch. Get up."
Yeah, Edwin, you have such experience being this sort of battle medic from the wounds, battle wounds that you've been healing from the Nornathi people. Within 6 seconds, you patch up those two wounds so he's no longer bleeding out, and he's able to stand and continue fighting. And he says, "Thank you, my prince."
"You're fine. Get up." And he's going to run over here in front of him, put up his shield.
Kaylin, it is your turn.
Yes, so Kaylin is going to raise that clawed hand, and as she does so, these purple clouds roll in over her eyes, And as these purple clouds fog her eyes, Samson's eyes also turn that same cloudy purple. And she is going to hex the leader. Hit this Eldritch Blast.
We got a hex. And an Eldritch Blast.
Give him that Warlock 1-2.
Oh, baby, let's go!
Our first natural 20 of the game. Congratulations! Kayla, you were destined to be one of the first natural ones, and you rolled the first natural 20. How do you feel right now?
This guy has an Eldritch Blast shaped hole in his chest now.
Yeah. You can see that as the blast. Kaylin, well, how do you kill this bandit captain here as you cast Hex and then Eldritch Blast?
Yeah,
what does
like
that look
said,
like?
These purple clouds roll over Kaylin's eyes, and same with Samson. And as she takes that gauntlet in hand, she just slashes out this like strange, almost like a snake shape, in the air. And that shape flies towards him, burning a hole right through his chest, leaving this purpley magical bullet hole.
They just fall down to the ground, and you can see the rest of the bandits look in horror as I'm gonna go ahead and make a morale check for them here real quick. You hear one of the bandits, the one down here who went, "They got nobles with him." You hear him say, "Wait, they got Lauren! No! The same type of magic he has! No!" And all of them begin to sort of turn and run back towards the keep.
Wait, hold on. Get the fuck back here. Now chase them.
So yeah, that's the thing. Are you guys gonna let them run back, or are you guys just gonna be taking pot shots at them as they're running away?
Okay.
I say we kill as many as we possibly can, and if they get too far from us, then we don't go all the way to the keep, but we at least chase them on this map.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm fine with that.
Things are looking up. We're changing the battle music.
Yeah, I don't want to. Definitely don't go back all the way to the keep. All right, let's go, team.
All right, Via, it is your turn. You can see the bandits begin to retreat.
I think seeing Kaylin do that, and she's gonna like get some sort of like hesitantly, because she doesn't really want to kill people still. She's gonna throw or cast Ray of Sickness on this badly injured one here.
Via, you close your eyes to try and shield yourself from the reality, but the sad truth is you still hear the gurgle, blood, and the cry out of pain as you can almost feel that last breath taken by that bandit. He falls to the ground. Xanthi, it is your turn.
I will take a shot at Boyo that's up top here.
Okay.
Pew. Also will be afflicted with the slow mastery, so his speed is reduced by, I believe, 10 feet.
Well, his speed is reduced to 0, Xanthi, as the arrow
falls
back and you release, as it just thunk, it impacts. Where does the arrow impact?
I think it would just be a clean, just back shot, you know?
Yeah.
Shane playing dirty right now. It's fine.
Everyone's fucking face that you all just made.
You hit him with some clean back shots, Xanthi, and the arrow thunk, right in the spine.
Quite the spinal tap. You just
Dirty
gave
20
him.
on the back shots.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna leave now.
All right.
Anyway.
Whew. All right.
Family friendly.
Family friendly. Xanthi kills the bandit. Let's move on. All right. Captain. Okay. So with that, the bandits have been dispatched. However, you all can hear off in the distance closer towards the keep. It sounds like the gates are opening as that wood is kind of creaking. And it sounds like more guards are being dispatched to search for the individuals that were near the keep.
Now we leave.
Yeah, Edwin
time to
turns and
go.
says, now we run?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And with that, there are no issues getting to the horses. Easy enough. You can
Wait.
run to the horses. Yeah.
Does Kaylin have any time? I mean, the closest dead body to her. Can she just quickly rummage through his pockets?
All right, Kaylin, there are a couple of things that you are able to quickly find. 4 things. For one, you find about 25 gold in various, silver and copper and gold, but you can just put 25 gold in your inventory. You find also what looks to be a brass key of some kind. You find an insignia on his person, a sort of like crudely forged iron insignia that looks to be like an upside down T, which I would say immediately Kaylin is familiar with that symbol being so close to the Undercity. That's the symbol of the Greycoats within the Undercity, one of the larger gangs within the Undercity. And then finally, the last thing that you find is a rolled up piece of parchment. And when you go to open that, we'll get into that later, but the rolled up piece of parchment is in there. So with that, you mount up and you end up getting back to Rosemont right around 11:30 midnight almost is when you would get back to Rosemont. You can see Captain Vela dismounts and she looks towards the 5 of you and says,
We should talk about our next steps then. With the information we gathered, I will prepare the soldiers here to move out whenever all of you are ready.
fantastic. Good. Great job out there tonight, all of you. You definitely proved your mettle. I'll be sure to inform your father of it. And she'll give a small bow and she'll go off to address some of the wounded soldiers.
Do we have like a meeting spot within the mayor's? Like he's letting us stay there, right?
Yeah, there's like a central dining area that has a large table where all of you can meet and talk.
Yeah, I'd rather us go inside somewhere to have this conversation than on the side street. I think after we kind of go in and settle, Kaylin will open up, like she'll just dump the contents of her pocket onto the table so everyone can see what she got from the bandit, and then open up the parchment.
So, Kaylin, as you open up the piece of parchment, it's actually a wanted poster for an individual by the name of Valen Rhymecloak. And as you show it, Via, you would recognize an imitation. This is definitely a crude drawing of the individual that doesn't exactly match what you saw, but it seems to be an impression of them. There's a couple things to note on here. You can see that it lists their crimes on here that they are wanted for. They are an enforcer for the Greycoats, for the Greycoats. They have engaged in skullduggery, in racketeering, in robbery, assault, battery, as well. Most importantly, there was a wealthy merchant that was selling wares in the Undercity that they are wanted for the murder of. They currently have a bounty of 5,000 gold on their head.
Dead or alive.
Via told us everything she saw inside of the keep, right?
Yeah, she did a play-by-play as best she could, and she will like point to that and say, "That's the boss."
Well, at least we know who we're dealing with. How much of this actually matters to what we're going to say tomorrow? Are we not still going to walk towards the keep tomorrow and demand they hand themselves over, or what is the plan?
From his crimes, his sentencing would be death, right?
Not death
Okay.
necessarily.
There's still wiggle room to be had.
Yeah, at this point, because it's
Brother,
organized
murder.
crime and it's a pretty significant organized crime, at that point it's up to the king to decide whether it's murder.
Yeah, okay. Well, popping back, Xanthi would kind of relay, I guess, where he'd be heading. Which I believe means there's very little reason for him to hand himself over. Even if we are willing to offer concessions. Basically be signing his life away.
Either scenario, he's put himself in quite a predicament. What's the plan? We need to discuss that at least. It would be wonderful if we can capture him or arrest him, but overall our goal is to take back the keep and to save all of these townspeople from the bandits.
I think we have to also accept that it's more than likely that we won't be able to capture him. It's not what we're here for. We're not meant to be spending resources on that.
I agree.
I think our best plan is to try and storm it. I know that we had intentions to negotiate, but I cannot see those negotiations going well. It would only give them more time to prepare when we're there.
And it seems that our element of surprise is kind of out the window at this point. If we plan to storm the keep tomorrow, we should do it early, not allow them to gain a footing.
I would ask. I feel like there is clearly something else going on here. It's not that simple, right? Nothing ever is.
I don't think we need to kill every single bandit in that keep.
Well, I also feel if they're going to be attacking us, I'm not going to just stand by. But I know your point. However, I think we keep our eyes open. There's something else going on. It doesn't smell right.
We keep saying that we're just gonna go in like the door's unlocked. They still have a keep we need to figure out how to deal with.
I still like the idea of trying to get Marek in. If that is, like, if from what Fiddle sees, like, there is a possibility of, like, getting to the other side like that, I feel like that's our best bet. Like, we have a distraction at that broken wall. Marek pops over, opens the gates, rest of us flood through.
How do we feel about that, team?
I think it's the best plan we have.
And so we're all on the same page. Merrick,
Yep.
with two other guards, and Fiddle in his pocket, looking around. Via is going to infiltrate into said place and attempt to pull lever to open door. We, the children, and some guards are going to be standing off to the side hiding, while another envoy goes up to the front gate. And no, we're just all hiding.
No. There's got to be the envoy of, I think, captain and maybe 3 guards, just so there's more with us.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be going to that exposed, like, wall entrance, and they're going to be posing as an envoy.
So, with that, as all of you head to bed, the scene slowly fades to black. All right, here we go. So, all of you march out from Rosemont and begin to head towards Serwyn Keep. Eventually splitting a bit as Captain Vela, as well as 3 of the Adarian Watch, move to go towards that sort of back entrance. The rest of you go to move towards the front entrance, stealthing around a little bit further back, deeper into the trees so you can't be seen as well. And Merrick and one of the Adarian Watch, Karth specifically, he is the individual that Edwin saved. He is the stealthiest of all of them. Not the most hardy, but he is the sneakiest of all of the guards. You head there.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I don't like that it's on paper now.
So
Take us
That's what
back.
we want.
Replanning the plan.
So, we will go ahead and initially we'll cut back and forth between Captain Vela as she approaches and Merrick and the Karth, the one Adarian Watch member. So, starting off with Vela and the 3 members of the Adarian Watch, they march loud and proud towards the cliffside, where there is one bandit that sees them immediately and calls out and says, "Hey, you, stop right there. Stop, halt." And you can see Captain Vela and the 3 guards, they raise their hands, they don't draw their weapons. And you hear the one bandit shout out, "I've got 4 over here by me." And this guard is going to move. This guard's going to move. This guard's going to move. And this guard's going to move here. This guard is going to start to move over towards the stairs. This guard is going to move this way, wanting to see what's going on over there. And this guard is going to move right here. These 2 are going to stay posted at the front, though. Okay. As the guards all begin to move, Merrick, Karth looks to you. Should we move?
Yeah, I think we move all we can.
Okay, I'll give you and Karth 30 feet of movement. Where are you going?
Okay. Like we're going soft, we're going smooth. No one's hurt us yet, so I think we're playing it just a little safer, a little bit longer.
Okay, yeah. Then we cut back to Vela as she says, "I am here as an envoy for the King's Hand. They come wishing to parley with your leader. They sent me first to ensure that peace talks could transpire effectively and appropriately." She kind of grimaces.
See, the bandit kind of leans forward. What the fuck are you on? The king's hand? What, did he lose it? Walk all the way down here? How about you piss off and go back to whatever fancy tavern or fucking guard barrack you came from? This is our place, all right? Piss off. As you are speaking to a captain of the Adarian Watch, should you continue to speak in that vile manner, I promise you we will leave and return with greater forces. Please, I implore you to acquiesce our request to a parley. The king, you say? King's hand. So then you're representatives of the king, yeah? Yes. Ah. So then, there might be a little bit of coin in it for us, should we equestriate to your thingy? If you'd be willing to have us speak to the individual in charge, we believe a man by the name of Valen, Rhymecloak. How do you know his name? How do you know his name? And we'll cut back to Merrick and Karth. What are the two of you doing?
All right, we're moving 30 feet to the device.
Okay.
Right behind this guy.
You gonna do anything about that guy, or are you just gonna open the gate?
Yeah, I
Bring down
mean,
his neck.
Splinter Cell, Shinobi, Tenchu Z, all the stealth games. Can Merrick do what he can to try and wrap an arm around his mouth and, take the short sword and just stab it into his chest and try and kill him quietly?
You cover his mouth and drag him down to the ground. As you can see Karth, he sort of helps you rest the body down to the ground, and then the two of you look to the levers. As both of you begin to wheel and crank the the doors, the gate rises, and all of you can hear the gate. There's no stealth check here. As you begin to crank it open, you can see the one guard here at the front says, "Hey, someone's opening the gate." The bandits, they begin scrambling, grabbing their weapons, looking for this incursion, as all of you begin to move forward towards the gate. Do we have everybody here? Okay, yeah, we do.
This is crazy for level 1. What is happening?
This is
I was
awesome
just
for level
thinking
1.
that. I was like, maybe
Nepotism, that's what's happening.
Nepotism.
All right, here we go. Let's get into this.
I want to fucking level up, Joe.
Via, it is your turn.
Yeah. So, from where she's at, does she have a clear view of this bandit in the courtyard?
Yes,
Or
you
does
do.
she need to get closer? Okay.
No, you definitely do.
Okay, great. She will do a firebolt.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I'm also gonna.
Oh
put
my god, another natural 20.
Whoa!
All right, so that is a
Holy
10 plus a
whoa,
D10.
whoa.
Via can't stop killing.
I
Yeah.
know! I know!
She's grown a
So good
taste
at
for
it.
it.
The dice are barely telling the best story because I was like, oh, she's gonna be timid and miss all the time.
Via, you kind of black out for a moment as
That makes sense.
Xanthi and I guess Kaylin, you're there too. So Xanthi, Kaylin, and Edwin being the three that are on the ground, you see the winds kind of coalesce around Via, and her eyes go like white, like swirls of fog, as if there's something, I don't want to say taking over her, but something guiding her in that moment. As you can see, her wand was kind of shaking, her arm straightens out, and there is this like subtle sharp movement of the arcane spellcasting focus with this twist and thrust as the bolt goes flying out of the charm and makes direct impact with the most flammable part of this man's armor, and it just illuminates and begins to cook him from the inside out. As Xanthi, you are the first person to hear this. As this guy is just getting through the door, you hear a voice emanate from behind that door, as you hear, "All right, now what in the hell is going on out there?" As you see, stepping through the doorway, looks to be your individual, the leader of these bandits, Valen Rhymecloak, as well as the rest of the bandits.
Oh.
Okay.
No. Wait a minute.
Siege.
What are we doing?
One.
This is level 1.
This is amazing. Xanthe, you're in a bit of a spot over there.
Shut up!
It's okay, you got guidance.
Oh,
Thanks. Thanks, bro.
Virtually.
10 dudes are entering the combat right now.
Valen Rhymecloak's turn. He's going to slowly saunter out here and say, well, this must be my viewers from last night. Welcome to Selwyn Keep, and he looks towards you, Xanthe. Well, of course I'd recognize you. One of the heirs, ain't you? And he looks down and he sees a few more very well-dressed individuals, Kaylin and Via at the forefront. Very interesting. And you can see he's going to conjure, as he sort of, as a bonus action, will sort of rip into the air this like infernal rapier that appears in the opposite hand of the gauntleted one. He is going to hold his action as he begins concentrating on a spell, and he looks towards Xanthe and says, let's see what you got. And that'll be the end of his turn. Okay. Xanthe, after enduring blow after blow, stab after stab, bolt after bolt, we get to your turn. You have a moment to catch your breath. What are you doing?
Okay. First of all, I'm going to sidestep over here just to help people get up quicker, but also make it just easier, even though I have the reach to target the person that's already badly injured up here. And then just swinging the trident round, gonna take a little stab at it.
He is dead. I'm impressed. It was a good blow. But let's see. How's your mental fortitude, huh? And with that, he's going to slash right in front of you, and you can feel the air compress around you as he's going to cast a second level spell before you have the opportunity to second wind.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that shit. Oh.
As he was holding a spell, he's going to cast Hold
That's my
Person.
bad. I was meant to do that at the start of my turn. I'm sorry, guys.
So Xanthe, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
God damn it.
But I still have guidance.
You
Guidance
do.
doesn't work on saving.
I
Doesn't
didn't
matter.
fucking need it. Fuck off. Get fucked.
He's not taken aback. He's not in fear, but he nods and says, that's what I expected from the likes of someone like you. Impressive. And we come to Valen. So, Valen, seeing the numbers sort of shift and change here, he's going to use his bonus action as he is going to hit you with his Hex Blades Curse. And then he's going to use one of his 2 attacks to attempt to grapple you, Xanthe. The rapier right up to Xanthe's throat, looking out towards everybody else here. And he is going to say, all right, I think that we should take it slow. Why don't we have a conversation first, huh? Because if not, I think the Iron Heir is going to be spilling a bit of crimson in Selwyn Keep. What do we think about that? And he's going to look out for a moment to see if everybody pauses, because if not, he's going to take an attack again. All right. You see Merrick doesn't lower his rifle, and he has direct eye contact on her. Okay. All right. Combat continues, and he still has an attack, so he says, all right. Well, let's see if this changes things. And it's going to just make this like upward slash against her like armpit on that sort of uncovered part, only covered by the padding and gambeson.
She's at 3 at 12.
Oh,
So as he cuts and he says, what about that, huh? Does that change anything for all of you?
Edwin throws his hands up and says, okay, you have our attention.
Well, so who do we have here? I don't exactly keep stock with the nobility, but some of you are definitely cut above the rest, ain't you?
Name your terms. We're not here to learn about one another.
Well, here's the thing. I about can guarantee it, all of you did not show up to this Ant Keep out of nowhere just because you wanted to kill some bandits. Especially because we only got here, not what, a month ago maybe. I doubt It's no problems for the people of Rosemont. And the Adarian Watch has bigger problems than us here. I take it you're here for something within the keep.
Our business is our own.
Look at that. Laid to your throat, you still want to talk. Yeah. That's admirable, I say. But listen, I know. I can just feel it. There's something in this keep you want. And here's the thing. I don't want to stay here. I'd like to leave.
What exactly are you running from?
Let's just say I had some disagreements with my bosses. I believe that my should have been a bit bigger than what it was. And we all have lines, right? And most people do that they won't cross, and there was a line that was crossed for me. I wasn't gonna do it.
So that's it. All you want is charter out for you and your companions, and you want to leave the keep.
Correct.
Edwin looks to the siblings. That is something we definitely can discuss.
Listen, I think you misunderstand. I don't want to wait on bureaucratic bullshit to get out of here. 500 gold. Me and my men, we leave now. We don't cause any trouble, any problems to the people between here and Port Meridia, and we leave.
Done.
He puts down 50 platinum. There we go. Okay. He puts the gold down.
By the way, if this guy moves to harm Xanthi, Merrick's holding his action to take a shot at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Garrett, get the coin. Make sure it's there.
He opens the pouch and he begins to finger through the coins, counting them.
It's all there. It's all there.
And he'll direct all the other bandits to slowly begin to move out of the keep this way. So now, Xanthi, he's no longer grappling onto you. He just has like the rapier right next to the side of your neck. So if you make any sudden movements, you pretty much like cut at your neck and begin to bleed out. And he's going to reach down to the ground, grab the coins, put them in his back pocket, and he is going to slowly step away, and they are going to move out and into the woods away, leaving Serwyn Keep empty. And all of you victorious.
Edwin just, as soon as Anthony's let go and the guy backs away, he goes, "Are you okay?"
She like half turns to you, but like is still just like staring at where they've left. We follow them, right? Cannot let them get away with threatening the crown like that. We follow them.
I think we should.
I don't think they actually want to hurt anybody else.
Doesn't
I
matter.
got-
We follow them here and now. We still have the numbers.
No, Xanthi, we got what we want. I
I'm
don't
with
think
you,
it's worth it.
Xanthi.
Is that really worth it? I mean, look at you. Are we going to risk more lives for people who just, at this point, are not worth it? I'm not going to risk another hostage situation. I'm going to look what we came here for.
Enough blood has been spilled today. Chasing them would only put us all back in danger.
They cannot speak to the crown that way. They cannot speak to any of us that way.
But they have. We have to let them go, Xanthi. What matters is you're all safe. Edwin is going to attempt to start using his healer's kit to heal her wounds, if she lets him.
She will.
He's just going to say, "Please, sit over here." Merrick and Via and Kalen, can you go searching while I heal up Xanthi here? Find what we came here for. Thank you.
The three of you make your way within into the keep, down into the deeper parts. Via, where you saw there were those the collection of information was at. But you make your way in. The bookshelf next. I assume Via gonna check that out.
Yeah, let's do that.
Guidance.
Via, you find what you're looking for very quickly. In fact, you find three things. You find a collection of scrolls that go through the sort of lineage of House Serwyn, marriages, children, things like that, showing the house and how it sort of grew and developed and eventually ended with its final lord, the one who was loyal to Alistair Draven up until the very end.
The second thing you find seems to be some type of private journal dedicated to the last lord of Serwyn Keep, a Galdrin Serwyn. And then finally, you find the piece of information that you were most looking for, which seems to be a collection of notations by the scribes of House Serwyn on the ownership of land within the region. And should the fall of House Serwyn ever happened, who those lands should be entrusted to as. So which one of the three things do you want to sort of dive into first? I will say
the collection.
The what?
The collection.
The scribes of House Serwyn, and according to Lord Galdrin, should House Serwyn ever fall, the lands of Serwyn Keep, as well as Rosemont, and a few other villages in close proximity along this sort of border between House Astralore and House Thornfield, those lands are to be transferred in ownership to House Draven or whichever ruling house is present currently. So these lands go to neither Astralore nor Thornfield, technically. By what the Lord sort of left them to, it would technically go to House Falkrest.
I guess, let me also read through the private journal and follow the lineage maybe of House Serwyn and see if there's any other information I can gather. Let's just follow the lineage first, because I feel like that'll have the least nuggets of information.
So within the lineage, you can see that House Serwyn definitely had a leaning in marriages and relationships of that matter, closer with House Astralore and the vassals of House Astralore.
What does the journal say?
Let's find out.
Okay, so going through the journal, the vast majority of the beginning of it is rather boring, as it goes through the majority of the reign of Alistair Draven. House Thornfield would always be the ones that they would call in that situation. So House Thornfield worked a lot more in this area to preserve it than, say, House Astralore, who really just enjoyed the comforts of the place considering the relational proximity. However, the last three journal entries are intriguing to you via, and it says, the workers arrived today, not of our own, but of House Thornfield and foreigners from Maldaris, escorted under the king's personal orders, miners, architects, builders, men whose talents belong in quarries and citadels, not within the halls of this keep. They bring with them peculiar supplies, crates marked with symbols I do not recognize, and they whisper in tongues that are foreign even to me. I do not question my king's will. How could I, after what is endured? The Greycoats took his daughter from him. Their betrayal is stain upon Adaria. They will pay for their mistakes, I have no doubt, especially if all goes as intended. And yet I cannot shake the feeling this is no simple retribution. The next one, the construction is complete. Beneath our keep, the chamber stands ready. Stone walls carved and its floors inlaid with the strange metals. The king's scholars claim it's a step towards our salvation. That what we do here will change Adaria for forever. And yet, no one speaks of what exactly we've built. I've walked that chamber myself, run my fingers along its etched markings, and I've stood before those pedestals, yet I still do not understand. My loyalty to my king is unwavering, but I find it uneasy to be within my own halls. I pray my doubts are misplaced. Madness. My king has lost himself. Tonight, House Falkrest was meant to bend the knee. Instead, Draven ordered their deaths, every man, woman, and child, all of them slaughtered in their beds. We are not at war, yet he has bathed his hands in the blood of our fellow Adarians. I had thought his grief made him ruthless, but now I see it's made him something even worse. Desperate. I do not know what power he seeks in the depths of our keep, nor what he hopes to awaken. I know not what is his salvation. I do not care what scholars promised him. This must end. If I am wrong, let the gods strike me down, but I will not be a man who stood idly by while my kingdom was burned to cinders. I must save him. Or if he cannot be saved, I must save Adaria from him. May the gods have mercy on me. And that is the last entry in his journal. As the history would tell it, in the year 1030, Alistair Draven called all of his vassals, those still loyal to him after the Night of Crimson Tears, to the keep. And most of them were sacrificed in a blood ritual for his final ascent into lichdom and how
This
Serwyn...
keep?
No. In Dragon's End,
Okay.
in Crown's Rest.
I was
yes.
misunderstanding. I thought we were talking about this keep. I was like, hello,
Yeah.
that's
No.
wild.
So I guess to clarify also, the keep that we're at right now, this is what he's talking about is not underneath us, right?
So, yes. What he's talking about previously was in Serwyn Keep. It was built underneath Serwyn Keep.
Mm.
The ritual to ascend to lichdom, that was in Dragon's End. That was
Okay.
in your guys' home.
So we are on top of something.
You are on top of something. And as Via, as you are sort of reading this aloud, Merrick, you're kind of walking, looking around, listening. And Merrick, you take a step. And you hear a crunch, a crack. Moving too close to that corner of the room.
Oh, great.
And I would say at this point, Xanthi, Edwin, you've come down, you've been hearing everything that Via has to say about this. With that sharp crack beneath your foot, that ancient stone groans, brittle from almost 100 years of neglect. The sound only lasts a heartbeat before the floor collapses beneath your feet and the jagged edges of stone debris give way to nothingness as you begin to fall. Before the rest of you have a moment to react, just shouting Merrick or trying to grab at him, he begins to fall, sliding through this hidden shaft, his body tumbling 20 feet downward, the armor scraping against the smooth, unnatural stone as you land roughly, crunch, but intact.
Ow.
Your vision spinning as you pull yourself upright. And there is this, the torchlight above doesn't reach down, but there is this eerie luminescence in here. It doesn't have a color, it just is light. And you recognize that those veins on the floor, they give off this dull glow that illuminates this room. The air is thick, it's heavy with the scent of ash and something untouched by time. You've fallen into a sanctum of some sort. You can see the walls are carved with this elaborate dragon iconography. Serpentine forms coiling along pillars, their eyes hollow, yet watching you. The ceiling arches above you, it's impossibly smooth. And there's this draconic script written along it that you cannot read. At the chamber's center, atop a raised stone pedestal, rests not one, not two, but 3 eggs, each cradled in a nest of metallic filigree and ancient runes. The one on the left glows a deep emerald hue, its shell shimmering with hints of these golden veins. Another smolders with red ruby embers, as if something burns just beneath its surface. And the last one is obsidian black, its exterior absorbing the light around it as though it were carved from pure shadow. The chamber is silent, save for the faintest sound. Its rhythmic pulse. You feel it in your chest, but it is not your own heartbeat, Eric. It is 3 separate heartbeats. 3 dragon eggs, still alive, waiting to hatch. As all of you call down to Merrick, you hear their calls, but you are unable to answer in this moment. Stunned. And on that note, that's not where we're going to end the session exactly. Because we have some finished business elsewhere in the world. So we cut back to darkness, shadow. The first thing Rainier registers is the distant sound of water. Dripping rhythmically from somewhere beyond the dark, his muscles ache. His chest burns with every breath. And when he tries to move, his body protests violently. His ribs are bruised. Maybe even worse. He doesn't know how much time has passed. The watchmen are gone. He saw them die one by one, torn apart by something, dragged into the darkness. Their screams cut off as something wrong moved within the shadows of this fortress. He fought. By gods, he fought as hard as he could. But when the walls began to shift, when the ground beneath his feet crumpled, forced him into a retreat, he then hears a voice. It's something like an old memory slithering through the darkness. Something that's been waiting, at least in feeling.
Come, brave sentinel. Protect Adaria. As you were sworn to do.
Rainier catches his breath. His grip tightens, the words echo rippling throughout the cavern like a pulse. But in that moment, some light blooms from the abyss. At first, it's just a faint glimmer down the tunnel. Something burning, arcane symbols weaving through the air. An incantation murmurs from beyond, the syllables twisting in a tongue that he does not understand. But Rainier forces himself to his feet. Warhammer raised, his heartbeat thunders, his body screams in protest, but he does not falter. His eyes lock onto that growing light, onto that thing that is in front of him, and he charges into that unknown as the world fades to black. And on that note, that is where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I don't like
I don't know
you.
how to kill him, Joe.
Thank you so much.
Session 3, everybody.
Session 3. Session 3.
Session 3.
Of the Crimson
So this
Court
campaign's
campaign.
wrapping up at 5? Is that what?
Yeah, I'm like, man, we keep doing the thing, right?
Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next week for the continuation of the Crimson Court campaign. So be sure to tune in for that. We're only going up from here. Crazy that this is session 3. I'm excited. All right.
Wild.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.